G'day, everybody. I want to talk about the devil and what he tries to do when you try to leave him. Okay, so say you used to do something and then you want to get out of it. What does the devil try to do? Well, the number one tactic is he'll look for everything else that you might be still doing. So when you try to stop something else, he'll bring up other things. What do you mean by that? Well, say you're in debt, right? Like me, I've already explained my things. And so the devil knows, so the devil will be like, oh, what an idiot, he's told me everything. But this is part of what righteous people are meant to do, right? God does the same thing. So if you really got to be righteous, it doesn't hurt telling them, right? It's how it works. And anyway, and I've tried to get out, I could have got out of these situations if the devil doesn't do all these other tricks, right? Like I've talked about, that I'm valuable for money if I can find the right person to work with. Because God doesn't like, well, God type of people don't like working with devil type of people, do they? Right? And so what happens is they start doing tricks behind the scenes, which is things I've talked about, false claims and all that. That's all basic. But they'll definitely use, and we hear this through politics all the time, is that other politics try to find what other politics have done and haven't mentioned and stuff like that, right? Even though they've healed, and sometimes people don't need to tell people what they've healed through unless they need to, because there's other people who've told plenty of those stories, right? And stuff like that. That's what we call keep personal, unless we want to explain it. But what the devil does, and I've explained everything, I've got debts and stuff like that, right? And we've all done things, right? And I've even explained how the loopholes work and why we should fix them and stuff like that, because when there's a loophole around, it encourages someone who doesn't really want to do nothing but knows that other people do it and all that kind of crap. You know what I mean? I've been to court about things like this, why I end up not telling Centrelink about hours of work and so on, because I had a reason why I thought, I should have been on disability and blah, 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 and I could have got so much money, but I didn't, and rah, rah, rah. But, because you don't do things you're not entitled and so on. But it doesn't matter. I did something that I knew it was wrong and was learning and stopped and got punished and never did that again since that time, right? That's learning. That's what we do. Most of the time we learn as a kid, hopefully, right? Our parents teach us most of the things that we need to learn when we go out in the real world. So we don't do so many wrong things, you know what I mean? But sometimes we do wrong things and we'll push things, like I talked about when it comes to loopholes and stuff like that. Definitely if you know other people are doing it. And it doesn't help, does it, as humans, right? And they're like, And so everyone starts joining the crew, as you see that around the world, where everyone's starting to be like everybody, right? See, if someone's got slavery, say I had slavery here, and you come to buy from me, but I'm not treating my workers right. And we talk about decent workers, and these people who come and buy from me say they made all these laws and they make people go through things to be a certain way, but then they'll come to me because they don't want to upset me, because I might come in and bully them and they don't want to really stop me, you know what I mean? They don't want to start a war, they don't want to get into it, you know how it goes anyway. But they'll come and buy from me. How weird is that? And that's just because I do a good deal better than everyone else, and they've got some excuses why they need to have a good deal. And not only do they get a good deal from me, but in the end, how's this? Because I'm a crook in there, and they know this anyway. I sell them dodgy shit, but they still buy it because they think it's worth it and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to go on about it. But imagine they do that, and that's because I buy from them, so I'm getting money from you, and so I'm giving money back to them, and they like that, right? And so they'll go, we'll just go, and we're happy over here, and that's your people and your problem. You know how that goes, people? And so how do we stop such a thing from happening? We have America, right? America comes in, we're meant to be here to make, freedom, but we technically don't have it ourselves, and we do the same thing. And so technically that's not a country we can really help look up to us, hey, because they just look up to it when they want to, like a little bit about the incident with Biden recently about, he assumed one thing and another, and then he's like, oh, I better come in and help you. But yet he's still rushing, in my opinion, about who he should be helping before he gets all the information, right? Definitely when you're in debt with your credit cards, so you're a person who likes to help, which is myself. See that out there? I'm a person who likes to help. I'm like, instead of helping people in different countries, I'm helping animals, and some of them come from different countries. And I have my perception of why I do what I do and when I want to help, right? And I know the consequences, which I've talked about in a footage before, right? And I'm doing a similar thing, but I'm trying not to do as much. And I've talked about why I do. I put a little bit out, but that I can afford. But then occasionally the big crews come, and there is times, and I know why they come, and they like to hang out too. It's like having a little party. And I like to connect. I'm trying to connect like we're all trying to do, right? And instead of being with humans, I'm doing it with animals, right? And I try to love them like if I was that animal, which we all should inspire to do. And when that happens, you don't want to eat them as much, or you definitely wouldn't eat what you've killed. You get it? That's why we can eat meat and stuff like that. But you start thinking of ways that if you could do it, you'd rather do it this way. But until then, you got to do what you got to do. Like when it comes to laws that we all live by, right? We have laws because we're meant to have laws so we can all get along together. But then when they don't work out right is why the laws change all the time. But why they're changing, why they're there, and we hate the ones that fuck up, and put these certain ones in there because maybe we need to punish the people that set these laws that causes a lot of problems bigger instead of just going they got to fuck up in their job and get away with it. Because when it comes to certain jobs like that and they make these laws that cause big problems for everyone else, they should feel bad about that, really, because they created the problem, didn't they? But we're seeing a lot of leaders creating these laws just because they can and not doing it quite as wise, because I think they're not getting a big enough punishment. Losing their job is nowhere near a big enough punishment if you've ruined a lot of people's lives behind the scenes. And I can do docos and prove that these things happen and people have gotten away, and people have done docos. So why are we doing such things, people? Are we going to upgrade one day by not with technology, but with our minds and the way we think and talk? Like I said, when it comes to policies, we do need laws and we do need to follow laws, but we also need to have a society that doesn't just go, I follow the law because it's the law. I follow the law because I know it's a righteous law. So unless you can say all our laws are righteous, you can't follow it. And if it's not righteous, don't follow it. Complain about it. You're not meant to be following it, are you? You're meant to make a complaint. So if you're the only one complaining, then maybe you're not meant to be on this planet. Maybe you're not meant to be in that country, in that area. You know what I mean? It'd be like you going and tell laws to a caveman and they're all functioning. There's more of them, right? That's how we work on this world. And you're trying to tell them to do the right thing and to be loving, but they rather just grab the things and beat them and do their way. It works for them. They'll come and get you if there was only a few years, if they knew it, because they know they're like an animal thinking. That's why a lot of animals think like that, because it's the rank they're in, right? And they think, well, a lot of numbers, what you're going to do now, that scares them, right? And you'll see if two humans go against one lion, it's more likely going to run off, and so on, right? Unless it's got other reasons why it needs to do what it's going to do. But anyway, I'm blabbing on a bit, but I thought I'd chuck out a little bit of a blab, because like I said, I don't want to chuck out everything. The things I'm going through, they want me to chuck out everything. See, another way to keep someone hermit is that, and they want to get information off them, and they know they need to get it out too. Imagine knowing that you need to get it out, and the only way to get it out is you've got to give it to the devil just so something starts changing, but it won't really change because the devil gets it. You get it, people? Imagine that. And do you see that happens a lot in life? Some people, like I hear stories all the time, people won't even talk to people because of their status. What does that mean? I don't get that. So they're like, oh, you're not rich enough. And then when they're rich, you want to talk to them? How about when I'm rich, oh, my status is better than yours now and I don't like you. And these people wouldn't even like hearing that. And yet they live by that bullshit. It's a joke, isn't it? But it's the truth and it happens all the time. Anyway, I'll leave it there. That's why people look up to superstars and everything. Everyone wants to be a superstar, and that's fine. And everyone wants to be similar if they want to, right? And everyone could be. But you really don't want to be a superstar. You don't really want to be known too much, because if you really are truly known, and superstars talk about this, you get harassed, right? It's not a life, people. You just want to have a decent amount of friends. That's what we all really want. And we get to a point in this society that I've noticed everyone wants to be a superstar just so we can get what we want because of all the tricks and things that happen. We know that we need to be in a rank, in a part to be noticed and seen. It's like me talking all this wisdom now. If this got talked from such another person, it'll be a big story. It could go on the news and stuff like that. But if a bum just talks about it on the street, no one even wants to listen. Do you even listen to bums when they're talking when you go past? Do you stop and go, hang on, he might be saying something wise? I bet you don't. And I'm not saying the bums do. But I'm just saying what happens if one was. I bet you wouldn't sit there long enough like I am now. And I was talking all this on the street. You wouldn't listen. How many would stop to listen for the whole 10 minutes? Just think about it. Look in the mirror, everybody. Don't give up because your life's so easy and that you're in that little rank already. And when you feel guilty that you're in it, just admit that you are, and how are we going to get out of it? How do we solve it? That's all people have to do. We know where we are. We know what's going on. We know what we can't stop straight away. We know there's baby steps. It's like getting off a drug, isn't it? You're not meant to get off it completely cold turkey. You can. You can do anything. Humans are strong. We could shut all technology off and get through things, can't we? Right? But it doesn't mean you have to if you know a better way and a quicker way and get things done. And of course, we need to build. We need to make things. And so the best way is to start all over. When you start building, change the building stuff. And eventually it'll go into line, isn't it? That change is slow, but it's doable and it will work. We just got to make sure we do it. And every time we see a problem, we fix it. Seriously, we don't let money come in behind the scenes, because that's what's happening. Money or blackmail, people. And why do we have blackmail? Because of all these tricks. The more tricks, the more blackmail, isn't it? Because you all get stuck in it, in the blackmail. That's why I've been doing what I'm doing. You're better off just telling the truth, hey? Yeah, I did this, yeah. Right, but I'm not doing it now. And I'm talking about changing it. So what are you doing? All right, people? Have a good one. See you.